Can you see me, hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you very well.
Okay, great, awesome. So let's begin today's class. Keep the back and neck straight and very gently close your eyes. Make sure that you're sitting in a comfortable posture. And as you close the eyes, start observing your breath. Just watching each inhalation and each exhalation. Don't change anything. Just be in the observation mode. When you feel your body stable and comfortable, you can begin to deepen your breathing. Ensure that you're perfectly aligned before you begin the work on the breathing. With each exhalation, just relax the mind even more. Go in a deep state of relaxation with change in the breathing style. We'll chant Om one time, followed by the Shanti mantra. Inhale deeply for Om. Om. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
Let's begin the Shanti mantra. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu nirat. Sarve Inhale for Om. Shanti. 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 Just feel the vibrations of the mantra. Join the palms together in front of the chest and up the palms. Gently place them over the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms. Start moving back with a smile. And namaste to everyone. Let's begin today's session. So, yesterday we have started with the tranquilizing pranayams, right? The cooling down practices that are going to help you to end your classes. So, after you have done all the warm up kind of things like the asanas, the pranayamas also, which heat your body up, then you can go into the process of cooling down, right? So, don't go for the practice of pranayama in this way that you do asanas and then you go for cooling down pranayama and then you go for heating again, right? Because then, after asana, the heat of the body is there, right? So when you go for pranayam practice, which, heating pranayam practice, then you have to end the session with the cooling down practices, right? Because at the end of the session, you should be calm and relaxed, not like, having multiple, like very much like activity going on. At the end of the yoga session, your students, like they generally end with, a relaxed state of mind, right? So, and after you do the tranquilizing pranayams, then you can also cue in some form of meditation, right? So that will prepare the mind. So all the pranayam practices, they will eventually prepare the mind to go in a meditative state. It's always good to end your session with the cooling or tranquilizing pranayams, right? So let's talk today about Sheetali and sheetkari pranayama. Right, Sheetali and sheetkari pranayam. These are the two topics that we are going to discuss today. And the reason why we are going to do them together is because the practice is very similar, just a little bit difference in the way in which you inhale, right? Apart from that, the practices are quite similar, and those who cannot do either one of them, they can do the other one. So that is how also they are interconnected. The benefits are the same. The people who should not practice mostly, that is also the same. So most things in both the pranayams are similar, right? So that is why both of them are discussed together only. Whenever we mention sheetali, then sheetkari is mentioned along with it, so that people who cannot do sheetali, they can go ahead and do sheetkari, right? So as you can see, sheetali, this word, so the root word is shital. Right, so Sheetal, Sheetal, Sheetal. So whenever in Hindi we say Sheetal, so it's like kind of cold or cool, right? So same thing, this is a cooling pranaya, right? And when you practice this, overall, if your body temperature is say at a particular level, it is going to go down from there, right? So body temperature is going to reduce when you go for this practice, right? Both these pranayams are mentioned in both the Hatha Yoga text, Hatha Yoga Pradipika and 𝐾𝐚𝐲 Samhita. It's mentioned in both. So you can go ahead, look for the technique over there as well, right? that basically forms your basis for this practice. This is your source where it is coming from, right? So let's start to discuss the basic things. It's done in a sitting posture, right? So as for all other pranayams, this pranayam is also done in a sitting posture, right? So right, yeah. So done in a sitting posture, this pranayam overall, you will see that when you complete this pranayam, overall your system is not only is your body temperature going to go down, overall the mental activity is also going to go down, right? So it's a great pranayam if you are looking for that sense of peace and calmness. If you are wanting to look for the relaxative state of the mind, then this is the pranayam you should go for, right? So when I demonstrate, I will show you the difference between both of them, like how are they different. But for now, let's just begin with the basic things. So in Sheetali and Sheetkari, one major difference from all other pranayams is that the inhalation is done through the mouth. Okay. So I told you in the beginning also that inhalation and exhalation is generally done through the nose, right? In most pranayams, but over here the inhalation is done through the mouth for both. And exhalation is done through the nose. Right? So this is how it is. First difference is this one. This is how it is different. So the cooling impact is actually created when you inhale through the mouth, right? When the air touches the saliva that is there in the mouth, you will feel that cooling impact, which is created because of this reason, right? So it's very important to know this thing that when you do Sheetali and Sheetkari, you are actually inhaling through your mouth. So your environment needs to be clean. Because you must know when you inhale and exhale through your nose, there are certain barriers or certain mechanics that are placed in your nose in order to filter out some impurity from the uh, air that you inhale already. So the purification, some impurities are blocked in your nose itself, right? Like the hair that is present in the nose. So that plays a substantial role. Any doubt? And is my voice breaking?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So when we inhale through the nose, so the hair that is present in the nose that acts as a like a barrier to a lot of impurities that are present in the air, right? And then the air goes in, right? So that thing is not present in your mouth. So when you inhale through the mouth, you have to make sure that you are in a clean environment, right? You cannot do Sheetali and Sheetkari just anywhere, right? So in cities and in normal life, already that pollution in the air is too high, right? So you guys, what you can do is you can set up your space. In the first few classes I talked about setting up the place, right? Your space and your place, it needs to be set up for the practice, right? So I mentioned that you can put trees in that room, sorry, plants in that room, not trees, plants in that room, right? So there are a few indoor plants which help in the purification of the air inside the room, right? So you can go ahead and buy those plants so that at least the area in which you are practicing over there, you are placing something like this where the air is cleansed. You don't need to go ahead and buy an air purifier. Those are quite expensive, right? And not everybody likes to have one in their house. So it doesn't like mean you go for extreme steps like that also. You can go ahead and buy a few plants. It will make your home greener and it will make you feel much better, and you can take care of the plant like you take care of your kids, right? So, and they will also provide cleansing of the air around them. So rubber plant, I think, is one of them, which is an indoor plant, and it cleanses the air right, where it is placed. So you can go ahead, do your research on plants, and you can go ahead, buy some plants, right, and keep
Which
them.
plant is it?
Rubber
Which
plant.
plant? Rubber.
Rubber.
Okay, but rubber is it? I heard like the normal rubber where you can get rubber.
No, there is a plant called the rubber plant. And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So that plant is very good. It's an indoor plant, and it helps in the purification of the air where it is placed, right?
Okay.
You can also go for the snake plant. It's
Sorry?
also good. I'm saying you can also go for the snake plant. It's also a good purifier of air.
Oh, wow, amazing. Okay, I'll look for this one.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll Google it after the class.
Sure.
Yeah, I heard like you shouldn't be keeping any plants which if you bend it, like tone it, if the milk comes out, you shouldn't be keeping that. Is that right?
What?
You know, if you no, not I'm not saying about the rubber plant. I heard like the plants like orchid and things. If you break it, the milk will come out. Those plants emit a negative energy around the house, I think.
Oh, I don't know too much about gardening, but a little bit I know, like which plants are good to have inside. Only a few I know, and major one I know is rubber plant because I got that. So
Okay.
yeah, I have deep knowledge when it comes to gardening. But in the lockdown, a lot of people have started researching on this and have picked up gardening. So yeah, if just one second. So yeah, you can do your own research and you can bring more plants for your yoga space, right? It's going to be very beneficial in general also, not just for the sake of doing Sheetali and sheetkari. In general, having plants, they create very positive environment, right? And uh, like you're mentioning, some of them do not. So just do your research and you can go ahead and buy them, right? So of course, having certain plants around your house, if you are located in such a region where those trees are there, they are also very good. Like banyan tree, emits oxygen, be it night or day. Generally, plants go the opposite way, right? So during day, they emit oxygen, and night carbon dioxide. But a few trees, they are like emitting oxygen all the time. So if you are you can get those planted around your house or in your neighborhood, that would also be very good and beneficial if it's possible, right? So all of these things, they're going to support your practice only, right? So when you do Sheetali and Sheetkari, just make sure that the place you are in, it's not pollution is not there. It means you cannot sit on the road and do these practices, right? Or you cannot just be outside. You have to be very careful when you are outside, especially when you go for these two pranayams, right? So just make sure the air is clean around you when you do these, because there is no filtration, right? So nothing is going to, the air is not going to get filtered. And generally, the temperature of the air when it goes in, that temperature also kills a lot of germs, right? But when you are inhaling through the mouth, like I told you, the saliva and the air going inside your system, when it uh, enters your mouth, that's going to create a cooling impact. So the heat is also eliminated, so all the germs that get uh, cleansed because of the heat, right? When the air enters your body, that is also not going to be present too much, right? So it's going to be very, you are going to be very sensitive to the air, right, that you are inhaling. Yeah, so be careful of this thing. Sheetali and sheetkari, both these practices should not be practiced during winters or in cold climates, right? So if overall most of the time you have winters around you, it's going to uh, like practicing this, like I told you yesterday also, it's like internal AC. So if there is external AC around you and then you are going for internal AC also, it might, you might get a lot of shivering and it might disturb your overall system because the body is working very hard to maintain the heat, right? So go for this practice in summers and you will see the real impacts of Sheetali and Sheetkari. At that point of time, you will actually be able to see the difference that you feel because in a country, especially like India, summers are really, really harsh, right? Especially if you come to the north region, the summers are pretty harsh on us, right? So this practice would really show its true benefits when you are in a very hot temperature. You cannot have air conditioning around you, and then you do this, so you the restlessness that is caused in the body due to heat, that you will be able to counteract with this practice, right? So let's come to the people who cannot practice both of them. So Sheetali and Sheetkari should not be practiced by people who suffer from low BP, right? Chronic low BP, they should not go for this practice. And while you're practicing it, if your BP drops, completely suspend the practice, right? So it should not be practiced by people who have any kind of respiratory disorder. Why? Because now the air is not getting filtered at all, right? So asthma, bronchitis, any kind of respiratory disorders, and even if you have mucus, right? Sometimes we just have a runny nose, right? So if you have like a lot of uh, excessive mucus in the body, then you should not go for this practice because it's only going to increase that thing, right? No retention should be done by people who are having heart diseases. Again, you can incorporate retention in this practice on advanced levels. We are only going to do the basic practice, but in advanced level, when we go for the practice of retention, that should not be done by heart patients. Anybody who is undergoing chronic issue of constipation, again, try to avoid this practice because it causes cooling in the system, right? So again, it's not going to allow the functioning of the body to take place properly. So if somebody is undergoing chronic constipation, they should avoid this practice, right? This practice you can begin with anywhere between 10 to 15 rounds. It's good enough. But if you are in at a time where the heat is quite excessive, then you can go for you can increase the number of rounds and go for many more rounds as well, right? 30, 40. You can do those many rounds to see the impact, right, of the pranayam on your body, right? How it is acting. So in those circumstances, go for more repetition so that you can feel the impact of the practice, right? Sheetali and Sheetkari pranayam both should not. Sheetali cannot be practiced by people who cannot roll their tongue. So gently we roll out the tongue and then inhale, right? So that cannot be practiced by those people, right, who cannot roll their tongue, and there are a lot of people who are unable to roll their tongue, right? So in that case, the second practice, Sheetkari, can be done by those people, right? And Sheetkari cannot be done by people who have sensitive teeth, right? So Sheetali, let me just demonstrate one time so you'll be able to understand this point better, right? Uh, one of them cannot be practiced if you cannot roll your tongue, and one of them should not be practiced if you have sensitive teeth because there is going to be direct contact and you're going to suck in that air, right? So people who have sensitive teeth immediately feel that thing, right? So let me just demonstrate one time both of them, then I will come to the benefits of this, right? So Sheetali, the first one that I have written, it's done something like this. So you basically make a tubular form of your tongue, you roll it out and you roll the tongue, take out the tongue and roll it, and you inhale through that tubular form, then you take the tongue back in, close your mouth and exhale through the nose, right? So right, let me just demonstrate. So you'll be able to feel that coolness as soon as you roll out your tongue and start taking the air inside. And once you inhale completely, then you can take the tongue in, close the mouth, and exhale through your nose. So you will be able to feel that cold temperature even during your exhalation, right? And sheetkari is done when both the like the teeth are kept together, and then the inhalation is taken through the, like we have little gaps between our teeth. So the when you take the air in, the air goes in through those gaps, and then you close the mouth and you exhale through the nose. So when you right. So again, you are keeping the upper and lower denture together, right, and then inhaling, right. And when you inhale in both these pranayams, there is going to be a sound, right? So when I was doing this practice right now, you could hear that sound, and you will, when you guys do it, you will be able to hear that sound as well. When you take the air in, there is proper hissing sound that is created, right, during both these pranayams, right? Um, Let me come to the benefits, then we will practice. Okay. So benefits, like I told you, it's a cooling pranayam. It's a very good tranquilizing pranayam. Both of them are really good tranquilizing pranayam. So it's good to settle the mind, calm down the mind, and have a lot of clarity, right? So when we practice this, you will be able to feel this thing. On a bodily level, again, it's working on cooling down the system, right? So overall, your body temperature is going to drop after the practice. Hence, it's a very good practice for people with high BP or people who have any pitta dosh related issues. So if your pitta is too high, your pitta personality, and this practice is going to help you to balance the pitta out, right? So all the diseases caused due to pith, it's a good practice, right? Hypertension, good practice for them. Um, Overall, your system is going to get much more like the nervous system is going to get a lot of soothing, right? It is a great practice if you're feeling really thirsty or hungry, right? In both these cases, this practice has shown to has been has shown a lot of benefits. So if you're feeling really thirsty and you cannot, if you don't have access to water, then practicing Sheetali, Sheetkari, or both of them, your thirst is going to, like, it's not going to, that urge is going to go down basically. Same goes for hunger. If you're unable to get food for a while and you're feeling too hungry, practicing Sheetali and Sheetkari are going to work on that as well, right? So these two things it's working on. Mentally, it's giving you a lot of calmness and clarity, right? Overall, you will feel much more peaceful after practicing this pranayama. Same goes for the emotions, right? When you are, if you get angry too easily, or if you are very emotional in nature, right? So emotional meaning you go through ups and downs in your emotions, right? So when you go through those phases, right, where your emotions are too much, right? So you can practice Sheetali and Sheetkari, and you will see a lot of benefit even in your emotional state, right? So this practice is basically working overall and cooling, providing this sense of calmness in all the areas. Wherever it is, on whichever level it is working, it is going to provide that calmness, right, when it is practiced, right? So are there any doubts in the technique, how you have to do it, or any other doubts related to the practice?
Ma'am, do we have to close our mouth while exhaling?
Yes, yes. So in both practices, you are just inhaling through the mouth, then you close the mouth and then you exhale.
Okay, thank you.
Any other doubts? Okay, great. So let's practice both Sheetali and Sheetkari, right? So again, today we are going to do abdominal breathing, then yogic deep breathing, then anulom vilom, right? and then we will do 1 set of Sheetali and sheetkari. So if you cannot do either of them, you can repeat the same practice 2 times, right? And if you can do both of them, then experience both of them, right? So everybody sit up on your mats. Keep the back leg straight and gently close your eyes. Start observing your breath. Natural flow of your breathing. As you inhale, as you exhale. Keep your body aligned. Keep it stable so that it can support you for the remaining of the practice. You will see your breath has automatically become slow, long, and deep. When you attain that stability on in the body, the breath also begins to go to a very calm state. We're going to begin with abdominal breathing. So gently place the right hand on your abdomen and exhale completely. As you begin to inhale, feel the abdomen rise. Once you have inhaled completely, go into the process of exhalation. Feel your abdomen contract, exhaling out all the air from the body. Just repeat this process. Take a few breaths in this manner. Three more breaths, and then you can suspend the practice of breathing. Keeping the back neck straight, just observe your natural breathing. You'll observe some change in your breath pattern after the practice of abdominal breathing. Just keep observing. Keeping the back neck straight, prepare yourself for your deep breathing. Feel the need, you can place one hand on your abdomen, one hand on the chest. Otherwise, just keep the hands on the knees. Exhale completely. And then begin to inhale. As you inhale, feel the abdomen rise. Your chest expand. Slight rise in the collarbones. And as you exhale, feel the collarbones drop down. Chest go in. Squeeze your abdomen. Again, go into the process of the deep breath. I'm going to take a few more breaths in the same pattern. Try to fill in as much air as possible. And when you exhale, feel that air leaving your body. Three more rounds, and then we can suspend the practice. Keeping the back neck straight, just observe the natural flow of your breathing. See the change in your breath. The practice of feel you want to change a posture, you can go ahead and do so before we begin the practice of sit comfortably. Now going to begin with the practice of from the prana, Nasagra Mudra with the right hand. The left nostril, close the right nostril with the thumb. Inhalation, open the right nostril, close the left nostril and exhale. Breathe through the right nostril. Slowly close the right nostril. This is what continue your practice. Just complete the round that you're currently performing. And then suspend your practice. The back neck straight, just feel the impact of along the nose. Sense of balance. Sense of relaxation to the mind. Stability. And again, if you feel you want to change your position, now is the time before we enter into Sheetali and Sheetkari Pranayama. keeping the back and neck straight. Okay, your next exhalation, just take the tongue out, roll it in the tubular form, and inhale through your mouth. As you have inhaled, you can take your tongue in, close the mouth, and exhale through the nose. Just keep practicing Sheetali Pranayama. If you cannot do Sheetali, you can go ahead and practice sheetkari at this point of time. As you hear that hissing sound, just feel the air go inside your system, and that sense of coolness that is created when you inhale through the mouth. Just keep practicing this breath. Just complete the round you're currently performing and then suspend the practice. Keeping the back neck straight, just observe how you feel after the practice. What is the state of mind, your breathing? If you feel cold, you can go ahead, skip the next round. Keeping the back and neck straight, prepare for sheetkari pranayama. Keeping the teeth together, open up the lips and you can begin to inhale. Feel that cold air enter your system as you inhale through your mouth. Then when you close the mouth, after inhalation, exhale through the nose. Try to take equal time for both the inhalation and exhalation. The ratio 1:1. Keep practicing. If you're unable to do this practice, again you can do the other one. Same benefits for both the practices. Complete the breath that you are currently taking. Complete the round and then you can suspend the practice. Nothing straight, just observe. How do you feel after the practice of sheetkari? We'll end the session with one Om, 3 Shantis. Keeping the back and neck straight. Eyes closed. Inhale deeply for Om. Shanti. 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 Join your palms together. Let's just bow down. Taking these few movements. In gratitude for everything we have in life. Rub the palms together. Place them on your eyes. One more time, let's rub the palms together. Keep them on the eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at the palms, begin to open up your eyes. Feel the need, spread this energy. Namaste to you. Are there any doubts or are there any difficulties that you guys faced while practicing? The concept is clear?
Yes, ma'am. It really does the cooling effect.
Yeah, you can feel that when you inhale and when you even exhale, both things.
Yes. I have a question that can we eat after this pranayam?
See, in general, pranayams take 15 to 20 minutes gap after practicing. So right now, like we had a good 20-25 minute session where we worked on the breath first and then we did the pranayam. So take 15-20 minutes gap and then eat.
Okay. After every pranayam.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Any
thank you.
yoga practice in general, when you do them, before you have to be empty stomach and after you have to take 15-20 minutes gap before eating or taking bath, both things.
Okay.
Any other doubts from anyone? Any problem if you faced? You can share. Okay, great. So I will see you all tomorrow for philosophy, and I know I have to take your doubts for today's class. If you have any, just jot them down, right? And I will take them up tomorrow in your philosophy class. Om Shanti to everyone. Enjoy your break time, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
Shanti.